Hey guys, it's Miss Darty. Today we're going to be talking about how to find the central idea of an article. So we're going to start off by me just reading you a quick article about the circus. It's called Saying Goodbye to the Greatest Show on Earth by the Washington Post. Many years ago, two men named P.T. Barnum and J.A. Bailey had an idea. They teamed up to build a traveling circus. They called it the Greatest Show on Earth. Their circus became world famous. It lasted for 136 years. Now it's closing down. Barnum and Bailey's first show opened in 1881. The circus was part carnival, part zoo. It had performances too. People loved the circus right away. It had elephants, lions, and bears. There were clowns, horseback riders, and tumblers. Over 600 people worked for the circus. It was a huge show. People loved to see Jumbo the elephant. Then Barnum and Bailey had another idea. They added an elephant named Jumbo. He was enormous. People loved to see Jumbo. The circus grew even more popular. Now we use the word jumbo to mean anything big. Today, this circus is called Ringling Brothers, and it's closing down for good. The owners say they are not making enough money. People are not going to the circus as much. This may be because elephants were taken out of the show, the owners say. That happened last year. Elephants have always been used in the circus. Animal rights groups do not like this. These groups work to protect animals from harm. They say making elephants do tricks is cruel. It harms the elephants. For years, these groups have fought against the circus. Last year, they won their fight. Ringling said it would stop using elephants. Now, the elephants are in Florida. They live at a special center. It's run by Ringling. Jonathan Lee Iverson performs for Ringling. He is the circus ringmaster. The ringmaster directs the show. Iverson was the first African American ringmaster. He joined the circus 18 years ago. More than just a job. Mr. Iverson said the circus is more than just a job, more than a job. It's his whole life. Iverson loves being the ringmaster. He wears a fancy coat and top hat. He introduces the circus stars. Also, he sings at the shows. Mr. Iverson and his family live on a train. The train moves the circus from city to city. All of the performers take the train. The animals do too. The Iverson family has its own railroad car. Priscilla Iverson is Mr. Iverson's wife. She was a dancer in the show. Now she helps run the circus. Mr. and Mrs. Iverson have two children. Matthew's 11, Lila's 8. The kids work in the circus too. In one show, they play their father when he was young. Matthew starts the show as a young ringmaster. His sister plays the part sometimes too. The family spends a lot of time on the train. Matthew and Lila play board games to pass the time. They travel all the time, so they cannot go to a regular school. Instead, Ringling has teachers for them. They learn on the train. I love performing, Matthew said, but I'm excited to go to a regular school and have a house. So we're going to use that article to practice finding the central idea. The central idea is a one-sentence summary of the most important thing the author wants you to learn by reading the article. So think of it as a one-sentence summary. There's a few things that you guys can use to pick out what the most important thing is in the article. So the title is going to give you hints as to what the most important thing is, because obviously the author is going to name it after the most important thing in the article. Headings, each section usually in an informative article will have a heading, and the headings are usually related to the title. So look back at the headings and see if those give you any clues to what the author is talking about in the article. Then you can look back at topic sentences and concluding sentences. So remember, those are the first and last sentences in a paragraph. You can look at those to see if the author is telling you what is the most important information in a paragraph. And then if the author is repeating information over and over and over again, that will probably give you a hint that that's related to the central idea, because when authors repeat information, that means they really want you to pay attention to it and make sure that you've got it. So we're going to practice finding the central idea of the Greatest Show on Earth article. So step one is to figure out the topic of the article. what is the article talking about? So this will just be 1 to 2 words. So, what is the topic of the greatest show on earth article? So, the topic of the article is the Ringling Brothers Circus. That's what the whole article is talking about. It doesn't talk about really anything else. Everything is coming back to this one circus, everything is related to it. If I had to sum up what the whole article is about in just 1 to 2 words, I would say this circus. So that's the topic. Now that we know the topic, we're going to pick out 3 important things that we learned about the topic from reading the text. So think back, what are 3 important things you learned about the Ringling Brothers Circus by reading this article? So 3 important things. I'm going to click back to the article here so you can go through it. Feel free to go back and pause on any of those sections if you need to reread any of those. So, what are 3 important things that you learned about Ringling Brothers Circus from this article? So, 3 things that I learned was that the circus is closing after 136 years because they don't make enough money anymore. I learned that many animal rights groups are angry that the circus used animals, and then they protested so much that Ringling Brothers actually can't use animals anymore, and that many employees feel like the circus was their family, including the ringmaster, Mr. Iverson. The last step to finding the central idea is to use the topic and those 3 important things that we just talked about to write 1 full sentence about the main thing that someone should learn by reading this article. So, the topic of this article is the Ringling Brothers Circus. So, to find that central idea, I want you to ask yourself, what is the most important thing from this article that the author wants me to know about the Ringling Brothers Circus? There's quite a bit of information in there, but what does the author really want you to take away about the Ringling Brothers Circus if you can only write 1 sentence? So look back at your 3 main things, your top 3 things, and use those to write 1 sentence summing up the entire article. What does the author want you to know about the Ringling Brothers Circus? The one that I came up with is that many fans and employees are sad that the Ringling Brothers Circus is closing after 136 years due to lack of popularity. I feel like this sums up the feeling of the article, and it gives people the information that the article did without all of the extra stuff. Now you're going to use this information to help you with THA Set 4. THA Set 4 is all about finding the central idea of a text. So as you're going through THA Set 4, really concentrate on finding that central idea. That's what the multiple choice questions are really going to be focusing on. The SREEs are going to be asking you about it. So to get all of the questions right that you can, be on the lookout for the central idea. The multiple choice questions will often ask you what detail would you most want to include if you were writing about the central idea. So make sure that you're looking for the most important details to include for the central idea. Hope this helps you guys with THA Set 4.